Welcome to this video. This video introduces the idea of critical decision making and the workshop of the same name. This workshop is planned to be the first in a series of workshops, and the first one will be presented in Chicago, Illinois, in November of 2018. Title of the workshop is Critical Decision Making. And I'm the workshop facilitator. I'm Captain Kevin Smith, U.S. Navy retired. And I'm a former squadron commander and commander of the 1st Forward Deployed Top Gun Unit. The workshop is being produced and being offered by Marcus Evans. And Marcus Evans has a location in Chicago. Their North American location is in Chicago, Illinois. And Marcus Evans is a trainer and an intellectual partner with the business community. And their footprint actually is international. Purpose of the workshop is to build elite problem solvers. And we want to do that because of today's complex business environment. More and more we encounter problems in the course of our business activities as well as in the course of our military activities. And these problems are becoming quite serious, and a lot of them are what you might call mission critical. And we'll discuss what that means in a moment. But that's the idea behind this workshop, is to build a cadre of elite problem solvers so that we can, in fact, effectively solve our most serious problems and challenges. Now, in the workshop, we're going to be trying to answer 3 questions. What is critical decision making? Why do we need it? And if we do need it, how do we get it? And so those 3 things we will cover in the workshop. And we'll touch on them just very briefly in this introduction. The first thing to keep in mind as we begin our discussion is that there are in fact 3 classes of problem-solving initiatives. This is not what you might call common knowledge. It's not conventional in the sense of the word, but there is actually, and more people are recognizing that there are 3 classes of problem-solving initiatives, because there are actually 3 classes of problems. And so we will discuss those, but our focus for this workshop will be on critical decision making. And critical decision making, as you notice from the graph here, is, or I should say, occupies the area that is most difficult and most important for our business operations. Critical decision making then contains or addresses itself to 2 aspects of reality. The first one is things that are complex, or we could say complexity. And then the other thing that it addresses is things that are mission critical. So complex things and things that are mission critical are what we will be discussing in the course of this workshop series. Now, why do I need to concern myself with such a thing? And I guess to justify the reason for the workshop and the reason for this video and other initiatives that we plan for down the road is 4 things that have kind of like converged or come together. The first one is the Future of Jobs report. That was recently published by the World Economic Forum, and in that they claim that the non-traditional skills such as critical thinking and complex problem solving are the number 1 sought after skill set in the global job market today. Now that's pretty amazing and pretty profound. Also, survey of business leaders conducted by the Wall Street Journal indicates that 90% of those business leaders surveyed consider critical thinking, complex problem solving, and critical decision making to be the most important set of skills that they would like to have in their business environment. The next one is, of course, the new business model, which is attempting to embrace what often is called total customer satisfaction. What exactly does that mean? So there are a number of initiatives underway that are attempting to address themselves to total customer satisfaction, and they are proposing that businesses reconsider how they go about doing business so that they can, in fact, deliver total customer satisfaction. So it requires a new business model, or in some cases, it requires a implementation of the next generation operating model, which focuses on customer journeys. So that is the reason for what we're trying to do here in this workshop and what others are also attempting. Now, here's the rub. And the rub is complex, or what is complexity? If things are complex, we have to understand that first and foremost in order for us to be able to deal with it. So we have to understand, what does it mean to be complex, or what does it mean for things to be complex? Now here's the real critical aspect of it. And I'm going to read this quote that you can see on the screen. For every complex problem, there is an answer that is clear, simple, and wrong. And that's a quote from Mencken. So complexity is a serious challenge for us, and we have to understand it first and foremost. And then we have to learn how we can effectively deal with things that are complex, or what I would call, in my terms, would be complex environments. Also, mission critical. All right, what exactly is mission critical? What does it mean when we say something is mission critical? So we want to concern ourselves with things that are mission critical. And once we have those two definitions firmly established, then we can begin to understand how to go about the process of critical decision making. Again, mission critical are things that have to deal with mission success. All right, so if something is mission critical, we have to think of it in terms of, all right, the total success of the business unit, the total success of the corporation, the total success of the mission. What is our mission, and how do we achieve mission success. And that's the key. And once we understand that level of abstraction, then we can begin to deal with it effectively. Again, critical decision making, in summary, deals with things that are mission critical, and it also deals with things that are complex. So both of those things need to be dealt with together in order for us to engage productively in the art and science of critical decision making. Why do we do this? Because we talked about this before. Because more and more organizations want to be thought of as solutions enterprises. And what is a solutions enterprise? A solutions enterprise delivers total customer satisfaction. And in order to do that, we have to be able to effectively and efficiently solve a customer's most pressing problems in order to deliver that level of satisfaction. And that's the key. And that is probably the key to business success going forward in this modern era, is total customer satisfaction. And we don't want to give it lip service. We want to be credible when we claim that we can do that, and we want to be able to deliver total customer satisfaction in the real world. And that's one of the key aspects of this workshop that we will cover in some meaningful detail. Solving compelling customer problems means, again, in summary, that we deal with things that are complex, or the customer is experiencing things that are complex, and they are experiencing things that are mission critical. So an elite problem solver, if we're going to build those kinds of people, needs to be capable of dealing with both complex things and things that are mission critical. Now, we have two choices here as we go forward. And the two choices right up front are this. We can either deal with problems and decision making in an ad hoc basis, all right, and that's fairly common to do across the board. We can do that. Or we can decide what I would consider to be a better approach. And this better approach is analytic based, and it deals with abstractions. So it utilizes what is typically called higher order reasoning to understand the problem and to deal with it more effectively. So it's an analytic based approach rather than an ad hoc approach. Now we're going to be focusing on the analytic based approach to critical decision making in this workshop. And the reason why we want to do that is because we want to build a cadre of elite problem solvers. And elite problem solvers, again, are masters of complexity. We call them complexity masters. Then they also are mission critical specialists. So they can deal with both aspects that are front and center in all organizations, particularly when the organization is considering its survivability in a complex world, survivability in a contested marketplace. So in order to do this, it's my position and many others that we need a cadre of elite problem solvers, and we all ought to be striving to become elite problem solvers in our specific endeavors. This first workshop is being produced by Marcus Evans. Their website is marcusevans.com, and it's scheduled to premiere on November 13th and 14th of 2018. Location is the NBC Tower, and that's located in Chicago, Illinois. That completes this introduction to critical decision making, and we hope to see you there at the workshop.